I'm gonna go right off my phone right now.
You liking this? So I'll be calling the meeting to order at 4:03. And then I'll go Sherry. Yeah, we was gonna get it, ask for it to speak.
I heard she was supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think she can be here maybe a little bit late. Sis, present. Carla, here. Mike,
Here.
Braden,
Here.
myself. And then Mary Schindler.
So she called and said that she got served, so she had to deal with that first. Don't know what that.
Okay.
So, we have to motion for next season.
For both of them or just,
Both.
so then I make the motion.
Okay. So there are appointment motion.
To excuse Sherry and Mary Schindler for today's meeting. She called Mary.
Okay, yes.
Second.
So on the agenda, we have to approve the minutes of March 7, 2024. Does everybody look at them? I make a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, and then now we have Trevor, who'll present the public transfers that will be part of it.
Okay. 1 second here. All right. I attempt to share my screen over Zoom. And I have my sound muted up here, but for some reason it is coming through on both, but that's. No, I don't think it's yours. I think it's just the way the HDMI is working. Okay, awesome. So recently I've had a few conversations with some individuals in the Sunnyside area who are really excited about a potential pump track project. And we've had a couple meetings to discuss this. And I wanted to bring it to the Park and Rec board just to kind of go over it and maybe bounce any sort of feedback off of you. And then hopefully with your blessing, make a presentation to City Council on April 22nd to kind of move forward with this. So we had been approached by a couple members of the community for a potential pump track at Sunnyview Park. And I stole this definition from Wikipedia, but what is a pump track? So pump track is a purpose-built track for cycling that has a circuit of rollers, banks, turns, and features designed to be ridden completely by riders, pumping, generating momentum up and down body movements instead of pedaling or pushing. It was originally designed for mountain and BMX. Now, due to its asphalt construction, it can be used by skateboards, wheelchairs, rollerblades, roller skates, scooters. Pretty much if it has wheels, you can kind of design a pump track to work with it at this point in time. So it's been really cool. And I have a short video to show everybody here. Hopefully there's, okay. I brought it up here. Let me stop share and reshare here. work. That's the stop showing. Hold on. Let me stop this. I might have to come back into that. Okay. So here we go. There we go. Hopefully there's some sound here. Might have to play it.
Track is a great place to hone your skills. There's so much you can do on them. But what are a few of the skills you can learn out of contract? Contracts are small circuits that consist of jumps, rollers, and berms. They're made in a loop so you can ride it over and over again if you like. For how small they are, they're really tiring. They're either made of tarmac or dirt and a great place to learn and develop new skills. The best thing about contracts is that no matter your skill set or age, you can ride one. And you can always learn something as well. Generally, the idea is that you aren't pedaling around a pump track and they're made to teach you how to pump or use the ground to generate speed. One of the best things you can learn at pump track then is, yeah, you guessed it, as the name suggests, pumping. Basically using the ground to generate speed. Now what you'll do is when you're on your bike, regardless of what bike it is, you'll be pumping and pulling, pushing the bike up and down all over the rollers and the bumps and in the turns to actually generate speed. And that's going to help you go around the pump track without having to pedal at all. All of those skills are all learned on the pump track. All of that ability to really generate and work the ground beneath you. Believe it or not, there are actually pump track races and even pump track world championships where the racers will take their chains off and they have to race. So they can't pedal and they've got to generate their own speed under their own steam, if you like. Now, you can do this, like I said, on rollers, but another crucial part of the track is in corners. So learning how to generate speed through the turns is going to really link up all the other sections. Generating or maintaining speed in turns is an area of a lot of our riding that most people can really struggle with. Actually keeping speed through turns or even coming out of a turn with more speed is a really specialist skill. And a pump track is a great place to learn that because it's such a controlled environment. I know that I'm going to hit this turn exactly the same almost every single time. The turn's not going to change. So I can really dial in and practice my technique until I'm absolutely flying out. And then I can take that over onto the trails and get my downhill riding and my trail riding as fast as it can be as well. Pump tracks can be a great place to learn how to jump. They're relatively safe and the gaps between one roller and the next usually aren't too big. But most importantly, that if you case a jump or come up short, you're not going to fall in a big old hole or be in too much trouble. The downside, however, though, is that they're usually made on the surface, so do be careful. But casing a jump is a great lesson too, because if you case a jump enough times, you'll realize that you either need more speed or you need to pull up a bit more. What do I mean about pulling up though? Well, sometimes you just can't get enough speed for a jump and you need to supplement this with a bit of upward pull. Pulling up hard on the bars on the jump will give you a bit extra height, so a bit more distance. It can go pretty wrong though, so practice this a lot. Linking things together is one of the most fun things you can do at a pump track. Now that could be anything from various combos through lots of rollers, like roller, manual, double, whatever, or you move on to something a little bit more advanced. So we're going to try here where we're going to gap out of one berth and land into another. Pump tracks are great for doing this because again, it's that controlled environment. So that I know if I do it and I come up short, well, okay, a bit more speed needed, maybe carry more speed in the turns. If I go too long, well, then I probably pulled a bit too hard and rein it in for the next go. But it just means you can have endless amounts of fun trying new combos. I'm looking for gaps, Leo. Can't find any. Can't gaps. Aha! Here we go. Berth. So berth. We're going to gap out of here into this one, I think. And then if I'm feeling particularly spicy, we might try and gap out of this one into that one. Ooh, that's a good one. Gap to gap. Berth to berth to berth. Let's try that. Rocket around that. I think that second one's on. I gained so much speed though. Woo! Oh no, you gotta get, it's amazing, like, when you get them, you gotta get like, to get the second one, you have to get the sweet spot on the first one. That's tricky.
So, okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. Back to that share screen here. Hold on. The way Zoom works is just a little fussy sometimes. Okay. So that was a short video on a pump track. So that's more or less it. Okay, so that was a short video on what a pump track is. It's more or less a section of, or a park made of rolling blacktop that can be used for two-wheeled or three-wheeled toy, bicycle, scooter, rollerblades, skateboards, what have you. So we were approached by this group, kind of looking at what this would mean in the Sunnyside area. So the nearest pump track is in the Tri-Cities. I believe it's in either Richland or Kennewick, one of those two. They've recently built a new one, and this group is working on one in Kennewick right now. They're working on another one in Kennewick, and they came to me about 3 weeks ago, and they're like, we really want to do one in this region. So we were kind of brainstorming a bunch of different ideas. So here's some more pictures for you, kind of like an aerial view of what it might look like. And we were brainstorming different ideas of where we could put something like this. And when we're going out for grants and we're looking for money, we really want to achieve the most bang for buck. So is this going to be a city facility? Specifically, how big is this facility going to be? Where's it going to be located? Who's it going to serve? So that's kind of where we started brainstorming. And then we came up with the idea of Sunnyview Park. Sunnyview Park is between Sunnyside and Grandview. It serves more or less both jurisdictions. It would be a regional facility, which would be really important because there's give or take, I don't know, 60,000 people in this region, depending on the time of the year. It's located right off the highway. So there's already adjacent parking. We know that that's portions of Sunnyview Park aren't used to their fullest potential at this point in time. This would potentially eat up a little bit of an existing baseball field or softball field, but there'd be two more to kind of replace it, to bring those online, to give us a reason to kind of push back over to that side of the park, start using that bit of the park a little bit. And then because this kind of has a lot of things going for it, that it's regional, it's off the highway, it has parking, and it's a decent sized area. If we get into pump tracks that are 10,000 square feet or larger, then we can start looking at some things like regional competitions, becoming more or less like a destination for something like this. And that's really important because as I've been learning more about this, if we build something that's, because my goal and the group that I'm working with, their goal would be just to kind of go big. Like, let's go big. We want to do something that really that's really something that pulls people in. So we're looking at maybe this area that I have boxed out right here is about 2 acres. So it doesn't have to be, again, it being that whole thing would be pretty pricey, but maybe about half that size, so it still will eat probably into that baseball field a little bit. But if we have something that is sizable, we can have regional competitions. That's when you get other larger sponsors looking at this thing. So then we can start attracting things like Red Bull and doing sort of like a Washington circuit type of deal. And there's a couple of these. There's one in, I believe there's one in Ellensburg, there's one in Wenatchee, there's one in Tri-Cities. So kind of putting one here strategically and Sunnyside, I think would be a really neat thing for this region. So that was kind of the overarching view. I was going to leave some time for questions, but I also wanted to talk about how we intend to pay for this as well. So I can take any questions at this point in time if anybody had anything. Otherwise, I'll jump into the grant funding.
So the other surrounding cities, what size is there?
I don't know how big Kennewick's is at this point in time. I want to. It's bigger than 10,000 square feet. It's pretty decent size. They're trying to do bigger ones as well. They're trying to make them sort of like a regional draw.
You have 2 acres that you just outlined. So how big is that?
So that would be, if it's 2 acres, it's just shy of, it's right around 90,000 square feet. That would be 2 acres, just shy of 90,000. So if we do half that, 40-ish thousand square feet, if we get something in that size. So oftentimes what happens with these is that what we would be trying to do is, there's kind of 2 different sections that are set up. There's like a beginner section that's just gentle rollers, that's maybe built for children under the age of 12 or something like that. And then there's a little bit bigger section that's 12 and up. So once you kind of get comfortable with that small section can usually range from, if we want to do it right, we would want it to be a little bit sizable. So, 10,000 square feet or so in that ballpark, and then the other section make it bigger, so you can really, I guess, learn how to pump your bike around this track. So yeah, maybe in the ballpark of 20 to 30,000 square feet.
Well, we got all that room now.
Mhm.
And I think this would be and that will draw people into our community. They also, and people really don't know what it's all about. Eventually, they'll probably catch on.
Yeah.
But if we do something and that future could really look good.
Yeah.
And we have the land. Now it's just, where the funding comes next, but I mean, I would think that personally, we have the property, because it just sits there.
Right, and it just sits there, and that's why I was saying, let's just take that 2 acres, kind of set it aside for right now, and really build a nice plan around it. Like, guarantee, okay, we have the space. Here's the space that we can work with. How can we make it fit in there? How can we make things flow? How can we make it so that people who are walking there don't get hit by a bike? How can they just kind of get ready around it in the area around it? So we can just take the time, take the space to do it right. We'll still have three baseball fields out there, so I don't think that'll be cutting into, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Does it have to be up front? Can it be behind the baseball fields where there is nothing right now?
So we thought about that, and she asked if it had to be up front or if it could be on the back side. And we've thought about that. And the reason that we want it to be up front is mostly because of the event potential. So having it adjacent to the parking area, and the event potential that would offer right off the highway, it would be visible. when you tuck things back, it becomes a little less visible. There becomes like a weird barrier to walk across the fields and then to get to it.
But they wouldn't be walking, they'd be riding their bikes, or if they are walking, they would be with skateboards and stuff. And I know down at Town Central, that skate park is used immensely. And if this is gonna be more for bicycles, I mean, the kids are riding their bikes out there anyway. And my thought is, if you have it close to 97 or Yakima Valley Highway, what do you call it? You know, you're got more potential for hazard of the kids crossing the street from the pathway over to the road to the park.
Could you repeat that? The volume is very low here.
Yeah, it's fading in and out over this way too.
Oh, I guess.
But what I believe she said is that having it close to the highway would, or having it at that location would open it up for potential hazards.
Yes, because the kids are gonna be riding their bikes out on the pathway, and then they're gonna cross over Yakima Valley Highway.
Oh, on the pathway over to Yakima Valley Highway.
Yeah,
This right here.
Yeah.
We use that for soccer.
On the other side?
Right before this, so they use this side for soccer,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen them use this side,
But we have all that property.
and then they have right before. Oh,
This for soccer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would still have this for soccer, potentially this for soccer.
well, I know these two fields,
Yeah.
they get used. This one has a bunch of grass on it.
Uh,
This one, if we get it up and going, kind of get used.
But I think if we, I mean, no matter what we look at this, what we do, there's always gonna be a potential at. Now, this, we're using for this, using for that. I mean, I think this is a good thing. If it gets to be like that, then we just need to shift and make sure that what we have around us be responsible here, but now I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world.
yeah. And then another concern is, you know, cities, from my understanding, is working with Grandview to put the fire department out there in between, right there by South Hill, Sunnyview Park. How's that gonna
From
affect
up the fire
things?
department, being
Yeah.
right there.
that's more like the Tucker Cellars area.
But it's right next to Sunnyview Park, where you've got your skate park going, that is right next to that, or
Yeah.
almost next to it.
I mean,
I'm just asking.
So at this
You know.
point, we have land.
yes,
You think this is a good idea?
yeah. The exact location, I mean, doesn't have to be set in stone at this point in time.
Right.
So the approximate location would be Sunnyview Park. So we can kind of, as long as we can confidently say, yes, we think there's space in Sunnyview Park where we could make this fire. That's more or less what I need at this point in time.
Yeah.
But
The
I-
group working with, they'll have to come out and potentially they could say, this area is not a good area, we think that this side would be, or they have already came out and said this part would be good.
They've said the park is good. They like
Okay.
the park a lot. So Sunnyview Park, so I'll kind of transition into the part of it now. So Sunnyview Park is technically in Sunnyside. And it falls within, so it would be underneath the RCO's youth athletic facility grant we would be applying under, and it's due May 1st. But there's some stipulations, conditions to this grant and how the funding works. In this area, we like Sunnyview Park because it gives us the ability to go for a 90-10 grant. So, and the 10% that we have to cover can be in-kind donations, it can be material donations, it's pretty open to how we cover that 10%. And then,
I-
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm not against the skate park being there. I'm just looking at the safety and then the longevity. I mean, if the city of Sunnyside and city of Grandview are going to come together and put that major fire department out there, what's that gonna, do, Just looking farther
She's not
in the
against
future.
it. She said, Groundview's gonna come in and do that and be with Sunnyside and do the fire thing. That's what she's worried about. That's her concern.
Yeah,
And I don't
I'm
think-
looking farther into the future.
She's
I like the
looking
idea
into
of the
the
skate
future.
park, yes.
She likes the idea.
And then I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So what is ours gonna be different from Tri-City? So that way potential like, how you said they have competition. That they're gonna pick Sunnyside versus picking, Tri-Cities or picking another town, like how are we gonna make ours different? Or unique so that way we can get that here.
So that's where we would come up, that's where we would work with the designer of this to come up with some varying designs, because each pump track is different in how they flow and how they work and how they, because there's like two groups in Washington that do these, and they both work together to build these. So we can work with them to make sure that our track is not the exact same as the one in the Tri-Cities, so that it is different, so that it does have a little more feature. We know there's a lot of young kids here, so maybe we do make a portion of it more young kid, like child friendly than adult friendly or something like that. So there's ways we can make it a little bit unique, kind of tailor it to Sunnyside a little bit better.
Because I know you want to talk about funding.
Yeah.
I'm not a, pump track expert here. Does it take a special bike?
Nope, it can be any sort of bicycle. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking about, we want to look at people coming in, but what about our own people using the bikes? Using the track, are our kids gonna be able to, what it takes to be able to do that? I was out there today with my 6-year-old grandson who absolutely loves the skate park.
Yeah.
In town, and I said, oh, there's another skate park, let me take you there. Oh my gosh, I was scared to death, I thought you would even try that.
So skate parks and pump tracks are a little bit different in
Yeah.
like the degree of like tricks and the degree of like skill and what the goal is to accomplish at like a skate park versus a pump track. A pump track's more or less to kind of,
Oh, yeah,
cruise.
no, I
Yeah.
get that, I'm just worried about the pump track people running over and trying to do something on that skate park.
oh yeah.
That thing is like.
And there's a second one that's supposed to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rotary.
And here, have you done like, is there people here that do this? Like, I don't know if there's like a sport for it. Yeah. So that's like one of my questions, cause like if we bring it, what if the community's not?
So there's a huge mountain biking population in the Yakima area. So there's one out of Tri-Cities, there's one out of Yakima. I forget their name, but there's a person who is currently working now. His name is Will Hollingberry, but he's trying to get one to fire up in the Upper Valley. He's trying to get one going up there as well. But there's quite a big mountain biking population in this area, and problem is they go from Yakima, Natchez, and then they go down to Tri-Cities. They don't stop in the middle anywhere because there's no reason to at this point in time. Yes.
No, I was just gonna ask about the assessment, like the usage of this, like, excuse me. I know that there's been a lot of talk like on Facebook, for example, or social media about like, a soccer complex or, building out more soccer fields and like biking versus something like that. That's kind of been more of the popular ask or need or desire for, how much usage this would actually bring into the community.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers off.
It's surprising how things catch on though. I mean, we came here with, a couple pickleball ideas and, now it's really taken
Well,
off and so.
And the Central Park skate park. I mean, there's always people there.
every-
Always people
It's
there.
cool.
Yeah. So no, we have soccer fields out there. We have soccer fields at Tina North. I know we need like we want an indoor soccer facility. So, I mean, we have the space for one. So this. I don't know, yeah. At this point in time, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to talk about the pump track.
So
So,
what do you need from us then to?
so so at this point, I just more or less want to know if the Park and Rec Committee is on board with pursuing to look at this. We have partners that want to work with us right now. That's the big thing about the soccer complex. I haven't been approached by anybody who was eager to build a soccer facility at this point in time. And that's kind of one of the big differences right now, is we do have somebody who's eager to work with us on something like this. So that's kind of a big step right now as well. So we have somebody who's willing to jump in, who's willing to go to the schools, who's willing to do the work to kind of do the background work, generate the interest. So that's kind of why I'm here today. Is this something we want to pursue? Is this something we want to continue?
So do we need to make a motion so that he can pursue it and present it to city council? That's what we've got to go next.
That RCO grant, is it only for that, or could it go towards a soccer?
It could go for a youth, it's for a youth athletic facility. So if we had plans for something else, we could hypothetically apply for it. Absolutely.
Are you making a motion, Mr. Mike?
I make a motion that we let Trevor pursue this forward to city council, explain to them what he did with us, and see what we come up with. I think it's a good thing.
I'll second that. City council and people on track.
I mean, I've talked to Bonzies, and I mean, I think every single day I've been in Sunnyside, I've seen kids on skateboards, like every single day there's kids on
Yeah.
skateboards. So it's, I mean, culture changes, things change, so.
Yeah.
We need to vote, Jen? Oh, we have to vote. So, Mike made a motion, I
Mike.
second it.
So then the motion passes. Is that correct?
You vote.
Call me to call.
Oh, vote.
Favor.
So all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay.
Serious answer.
Oh, no, I think she has her.
I'll take cooking. Yeah.
Actually, they had a.
I,
I am not gonna vote on this one. If you don't need my vote, I feel like I would like more information on it, because every time that the community does speak out, soccer's always the number one. And so I'm just looking at it as, it's a great idea, absolutely, especially if we have someone coming in that is willing to help and contribute to paying for that. But if we could find the same resource to have somebody help us with the soccer, and it's that whole 90-10, if it was up to me, I would want that 10% to go to soccer than a track.
So here's what I'll say to that at this point in time. The grant is due May 1st, and it won't be up again for 2 years. And we have somebody who's willing to work with us like now. So that's my 2 cents.
Well,
Sherry,
regardless,
that's on.
you guys
Okay.
have majority vote.
So that's,
Why haven't we voted yet?
What's our vote,
I was
Sherry?
just giving my, so I vote the same as Perla, because I feel like that the community is very into soccer and I've been hearing a lot. So I would like to see something like that, or even baseball, because I know the community loves baseball as well. And that would help here for the community center also, because I know, we have our T-ball, so even if we vamped up the baseball fields, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a good idea, but from hearing what the community members want, it's always soccer.
so I have a point of,
Sherry,
oh, sorry.
We have soccer fields and we have teams and committees that do soccer. I mean, they are out there. And to bring in this pump track is a different activity for the kids to do, because not all kids do soccer. Not all kids do softball or t-ball. And we already have the soccer, t-ball fields there.
So is
I would think we
Thunderbolt
would
yes?
want to add. I think we would want to add.
We don't have an indoor pool, so.
Yeah, indoor
that a
pool,
yes?
there you go. Yeah, we want to add. I don't want to,
It's a diverse
Is that a
Yeah.
yes,
mix of activities.
Sherry?
And it's free.
to vote for soccer instead of the pump track.
No,
No,
to present to council. Is that a yes for me or no?
For the pump track,
Yes.
yes.
We have 4 yes,
So-
no.
The motion passes to present to the city council. You have Trevor vote or present as city council.
But I do have a question for you.
okay.
These relationships that you're building with these organizations and companies, could that be a bridge to maybe have an opportunity to talk about a soccer?
Yeah, so the indoor soccer. Boy, they're expensive. So that's kind of what we're gonna have to, that's what we're gonna have to run up, that's what we're gonna run up against is
Yeah.
the cost benefit analysis is what we're gonna have to, is what we're gonna run up against. So, and that's where we're gonna have to kind of build relationships with partners. If we, yeah, that's,
There's something that we could do like how Sozo has it in Yakima.
Sozo has, so that's a private public partnership, and they have 2 private partners who funded the majority of the fields in the complex there. So the city funded the road and some of the other stuff around it, but the entire facility is more or less privately funded.
Cause I know like anytime we go to a game, they charge us like $10 just to park.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap, so that's when like something like that would probably bring in more.
Yeah, I mean, if there were some, yeah, if we could find, yeah, I would jump all over. If we could find some local investors that were looking to, that wanted to help us put together an indoor soccer facility, something like Soza. Maybe not to quite the scale, but something like that. I mean, yeah, we could definitely find funding. We could definitely do a lot of things that would help generate that project and make it go. There's a couple ways to be clever with city funding to help
So
out.
they would just go talk to you.
They can talk to me, absolutely. Yeah, me or Raul or maybe Andrew.
Funny you guys talk about, I just mentioned this afternoon.
Yeah.
In the order of something.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, everywhere you insert yourself is like in my soccer, and so it's just my question, and I will probably come to you with all these questions at council, is like, how do we move, like, to reprioritize them, and like, focus on some of these aspects. I'm all about diversification of activities, I think we need more for our youth. But yeah, it's always just been that ask. Now that I've inserted myself into more of these conversations, it's like, do you, like, I guess I'll just ask you later. I don't want it to be a conflict of interest, but.
I mean, yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, and there's various grants out there. This one, there's the youth athletic facilities, there's one that's I forget what it is, but a lot of it's underneath RCO, Recreation and Conservation Office. That's what a lot of that money comes from. And the grant funding and the project scopes, they all vary from project to project. Yeah, this could be something that could be used for an indoor facility. I would say if we were a little bit further along in the process for like an indoor facility, if we had some money earmarked either by the city or if we've had some private partners that were on board with something like this where we could kind of, because if they tend to be a little spendy. And so if we could kind of make up some ground there, I would say, yeah, let's absolutely go for it. Yeah, absolutely. So let's
I'm
just,
sure if we talk to the two big leagues here, they probably lean into like, you know, try to make something happen. They've been doing it for years. They do tournaments, they do goalie camps, they do tons of stuff.
A lot of people,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I know we have a meeting next week, with you, Counselor Hart and, Counselor Vasquez, right? But yeah, we've actually known, and Counselor Vasquez can talk more about this, about a private partner that's actually in the community, has been very, very interested in bringing up a indoor soccer complex, or really a sports complex, and was turned down by the port. And was turned away actually by the port. So maybe it would be a good point of conversation to see if like this, maybe we go into the pump track this time, but how do we start kind of building up to hopefully bringing this in, and, you know,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of planning and conversation.
yeah, yeah, let's find a spot, because, yeah, let's find a spot.
Because if you did a sports complex, we could do indoor and host like wrestling tournaments. 'Cause that's huge.
Wrestling's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody travels to go to those, and especially because Hapo is doing the freestyle Greco like state. So they usually do it in the Seattle area, but I guess they did like a bid or something like that, so now they're hosting it at the Hapo there, so that's a big one. This weekend, there's a big one for girls, I think it's like Girls National, but it's all the girls that are gonna compete in Spokane. So I know like that's really big here in our community, not just here, but like in the Valley, Ranger, Tompanish, they're all. So I think if we could get something like that, I think it would be really good for the community. And bring, like you said, heads and heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that'd be excellent. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I would say, let's flesh it out just a little bit more and find some of those, get some of those partners. Let's narrow down a few spots in the city where we want to see something like this happen, and then go for it. That's what I would say. It's just flesh it out a little bit more, and then go for it. Absolutely, I think that'd be great. Absolutely.
So the Sunnyview Park, it is technically the city of Sunnyside, but it, Sunnyview, Grandview's somehow involved, right? Or wasn't it supposed to be Grandview and Sunnyside?
Well, it's because it falls between here and Grandview, and then the urban growth areas for both cities kind of like touch at that area.
Well, isn't that a great opportunity to where maybe we can partner up with Grandview and have them apply for some grants, and then Sunnyside apply for some grants, and then combine that money into one big pot?
So it doesn't quite work like that. So we would, if we're both going for the same project, we can both kind of endorse the same project and use that reasoning to be like, hey, there's a partnership between Sunnyside and Grandview. Therefore, we want to go for $1 million in funding instead of $500,000 in funding. So if we can partner up and come up with a project and be like, hey, so us coming together, we have partners on both sides in both cities. It's gonna be a regional thing. Yeah, we have $1 million, and that's when we can be a little bit more like, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, because then they'll look at it as both cities competing for the same thing, and then they'll just probably award it to one or the other. Whereas if we partner and then go for a project, then they'll be like, okay. Or if we have like an MOU with City of Grandview or something like that, and that's part of the application package.
If you do get the funding, I'd really like to see it be unique.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else, so that way they come to Sunnyside.
Well, yeah, so my plan would then be as part of this moving forward, and I think that this would be the plan of the people who are working on this, to work with the community to build something that's tailored for the community. So this will probably not be the last time you see this thing. So I'm gonna venture to guess that the actual designer and the people who work that have presented this, they will be in front of you at some point in the near future, if this goes through.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I just, I love that you're coming in and just, doing the initial introduction here, I want, I think these conversations are super, like, they can be very, very fruitful, and like, everybody has so many great ideas, like, if this whole indoor sports complex begins building, like, it would be awesome to have you back and continue building on some of those ideas with this group,
Yeah, no,
from
absolutely.
your standpoint,
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
I need to go help Sherry with the spaghetti.
It's like, get over there.
She is.
What?
Bye.
Okay, so if nobody else has anything else, we don't know the exact the exact cost of this right now, but we'll probably just be using more or less a really good estimate of, again, we're gonna shoot for something big and hope that we get it, and if we have to scale down, we'll scale down, so I don't know the exact number right now, but it'll probably be in the ballpark of 500. Not 500,000 or something like
So
that.
if you don't get the grant, then you have built it, or you guys have like potential, like a backup?
If we don't get the grant, we probably won't build it at this point in time, yeah, so. Because they're pretty, the big chunk of it is the asphalt. And the asphalt can be pretty spendy, and the special equipment to lay the asphalt on the hills and everything, that's where most of the cost will come from. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, no problem. Thank you. So, and again, in the future, I'm free if you have any questions about this, if you have any questions or thoughts about the indoor facility, let me know. If you were like, hey, I saw this grant out there, can the city apply for this? Let me know. I'll do what I can to try to make
Get a
it
lot of
work.
grant emails, which ones
Yeah.
I can apply for, I'm like, Trevor.
Yeah. So, okay.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so next on here is items from community members.
Yes, I've been meeting, right?
Yeah. We'll go down.
Okay, so, just a little update on the museum. We, have a signed, agreement with the city. And so
Yay.
tomorrow we are working on our site plan, which is the next step. And then as soon as we have that, then we are actually ordering the building and getting the people lined up and doing all that kind of stuff. Trevor just had a little heart.
Yeah, so this a little bit, yeah. I'd say whenever you can get me the building diagram or whatever it is.
Well, there was one included in the stuff that I had,
Okay,
so,
I'll go back and look at it.
yeah, just take a look at that, and then, I don't think we're gonna change that much,
Okay,
so.
okay, perfect. I'll go look at that.
Yeah. It takes 6 weeks for manufacturing of the building, and we also have to get the cement, and you gotta line up the contractors.
Fine.
And all that kind of stuff. And we've been working on, going through the things at the museum, and, not throwing it away, really, but we are,
Hey, Andrew.
moving it around, and so we are just about done with all the pictures. We have no idea what that kind of a task that was. And we are about 1/3 of the way through the basement. We get 1/3 of that corner out. So, that's a big thing. And, so it's going along, it really is going to be 2 years. By the time we get all the stuff out and into the storage and then bring it back in and do everything we want to do. But, in the meantime, I'm very, very happy that it's moving along pretty fast.
I guess wanted to see where we stand. I think I chatted with her, but where we stand, like the pool's coming close to being open. So where we stand, like this, pipelines, just moving slowly, or
Lifeguard applications are out. So we're just, next week I'm supposed to meet with Lucia and get a full count of how many are in. Pretty much I have all of them coming back except one, which is an assistant manager. So
So when the school gets ready to utilize it, we'll have some lifeguards for them.
that's what we got to see on their application.
Okay. And then is the actual pool itself gonna be repainted? Because it hasn't been repainted in quite some time.
The pool itself, no.
Yeah. When, do you remember when the last time that pool was painted?
I would not. It was painted a few. 'Cause I think Stephanie had mentioned that it used to be blue, now it's black. I just don't know when it was.
Yeah, so I know the last person that did it, he's not with us no more, is Clarence Rosendale.
Well, isn't that kind of late,
Blue or
Mike?
black?
Sure, saying something.
What was that, Sherry?
Isn't that kind of late to be bringing up the pool being painted? Shouldn't that have been brought up this past winter?
It is, but I just.
So we could have
didn't know,
time?
Was it on the agenda to be done, or is it just?
Not the
Okay.
pool, just the building.
Oh, no.
So then the next thing is snacks. Where are we planning on doing snacks like we did last year on the pool?
Yes. And we already have a little section for it. The fence part though is still not done. They're still working on that.
Yeah, and yeah, and I have been talking to Rao a little bit about, I don't know if you guys remember the fence that's behind the slide at the downtown pool. About pushing it out. So then there's lawn there. Because right now, as it is that when the people rent the pool, they all have to be in the pool or on deck, but there's families that are on the outside. You know, so we could, or even anytime, we would be able to have people, families within the pool facility on the lawn. Because Grandview, Prosser, Othello, all these people do that. And it's really nice how they have it set up.
Mike,
They're
Mike.
awesome.
Mike,
that is a great idea and I thought of it too. But
said that's a
Mary
great
got
idea,
with-
she thought of
with
it
the,
too.
Sunnyside SVID, and because that dip that's in there, that's still irrigation. It never was moved.
So they gotta talk
Just
to
a-
FVID,
Yeah.
which we
Yeah,
do.
so from what I'm hearing back from Rao is that apparently there's some manholes SVID put in there, but they put grass on, the grass grew over the manholes to cover it, which is weird. But if from where the fence sits right now, and if we was to go 50 foot out, it would just barely start to crest down a little bit now. So I guess right now Mitch is looking on the plans to see if he can find where those manholes, may not even be in that general area. They may be further down somewhere. So they're not. I mean,
We would
our
still
fi-
have to, yeah, we would still have to talk with the SVID though, because of the easement that they have. Yeah.
right. But I mean, cost wise, all we're looking at doing is putting fences out. Sprinkler systems are already there in place. It's
Yeah.
gonna be grass, so it's not a major jump. It's just now a matter of waiting to find these manholes. That's what I've been contacting with Rao, and that's what Rao has been saying, so.
Yeah. We're just waiting for the SVID and the approval that we can actually move the fence at least 10 feet out. Because also all we need from the sidewalk is 10 feet.
And she says they're waiting for SVID's approval to move that out.
Well, I'm hearing two stories then, because I'm hearing from Rao that it's a good idea, but we don't know where those manholes are at. So even if we move it 2 foot out, we might be on top of a manhole.
Well, it's not two different stories, because there is a manhole, and if there is, or if there isn't, you still have to talk with
Right.
SVID, so it is still, it's the
So,
thing.
we're still waiting for Mitch and SBID.
Yes, so
Mitch
they're
can
both,
see
yes.
where's that. But anyway, that's kind of what I had chatted with Mary a little bit earlier, but. So, yeah, so I guess we'll just wait. Hopefully it'll happen this year.
Yeah.
That's-
Not really, did, you know if you guys are deciding out back?
No one's contacted me. And I was out on vacation. So,
What was it for?
the park,
Yeah, park.
adopt a park.
Perla, you have any?
No, besides, Sherry's doing the spaghetti feed today. From I don't know what time. And then
It starts in 2 minutes and our meeting should be down here in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So I suggest that we table the rest of these items for next meeting. Because Trevor did take quite a while and we didn't get very
Wants to
far.
table the rest of the items for this meeting.
That's my suggestion.
That's her suggestion.
We don't.
We have that.
Oh, Mary
I'm
was presenting her playground.
Yeah.
And the mineral. And you need to present this to council, correct?
No. I was just gonna show you the ones the lowest bid, and that's what we're gonna go with.
So who?
So,
Ask a question.
we gotta stay on.
Oh.
So are we done with questions or are we
I
gonna
think
move
that was
on?
one, Sorry.
Oh.
I invite everyone to our next United of Needles meeting. It's gonna be on next week on Thursday. Everybody's still gonna be giving his testimony. Oh, you changed the date?
No, I couldn't make it. Which day yesterday?
Next week.
Next week? On Thursday, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what day?
May 31st.
May 31st.
12:30.
12:30. So if you guys can make it, that'll be our team leader luncheon. And I believe the location is still
It's right there in the old,
the old gym.
no, I think it's, the old, welfare office.
Where
Oh,
we-
it's Denny Blaine. Okay, so it's gonna be at Denny Blaine. Sorry, I thought it was gonna be this next week. So May 31st, at the United of Eagles Collision meeting. So if you guys haven't heard it, I recommend you guys go and hear him speak. And that was it. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I have one more question. Scholarships for the pool. Are we doing that this year?
I'd have to talk to Jamie and see if that's still gonna be a go. 'Cause I know last year it wasn't.
Because we did that last year for the general admission. Did myself.
They were just on the pass,
On a
a
pass.
season pass.
Okay.
So I'd have to actually ask Jamie and talk to Ron and Andrew about, see if we're gonna do that.
It's 5 o'clock, guys. I have to go. See
Okay.
you guys next time and hopefully in person. If you make it for the first Thursday of the month, I will definitely be there.
Okay. I
Bye.
love you.
And you can send this email, right? Like, oh, if Sherry wants it.
That, if she wants it, yeah.
I just have
I'm just
one
presenting.
thing.
Mhm.
Miss Sunnyside will be presenting their flow on Friday at Central Park at 6:30. So they'll be revealing their new flow if anybody wants to go out.
Friday?
Yeah. That's
Like tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's the 12th.
I
Yeah.
would-
At 6:30 PM
Okay, where?
at the Central Park. They're revealing their new flow. That's all it's done. Yeah. That's all I have. Then we have, I guess, Mary.
Me?
Yes.
All right. Fun stuff. Bye. So we did go out for 3 bids. Fuel Rec, we can do one of them, all play grade or all play, and then play creations. Fuel came at the lowest, 140,263. Next was all play, 163,504. And then 190,476 applications. So typically we go with the lowest bid, so we go one. And then it was gonna go to council, but because it's so low and it was already approved in the budget to get the Upland Park following.
So does this group, when you put this together, does this group have an opportunity of looking at things before you went out for bid and stuff, or is it you just do it and we look at it and say, that looks cool?
Well,
I mean, how
this
how
is
does
my
this
first
work?
one.
Because I mean, I would think maybe I'm wrong, but I think we'd all like to feel have a little input on things that,
That you don't like in the
well,
design?
we don't even know.
Well, because typically it's gonna be what they send to us, and even if we liked this one, I think we still go with the lowest bid, is that correct?
Yes. It's always.
Which is understandable. Yes,
So,
right.
So do you get the playground, or they just, this is what we have? You can't like make, we want,
Intermix or
yeah.
something different.
I probably could,
I mean, that's,
I didn't really, I mean, this was pretty diverse in everything they had. And it was a little different than what all the other parks have, so. And, I told them, and I had went back with them. There's supposed to be swings in here, they didn't have swings for this, because that was the second design. So we did keep the swings for the first one, they didn't have it. But then I went back and let them know that everybody else was keeping swings, so we are keeping that as well, so we did have it.
so I guess I mean, it's probably too late now because we've already have everything together, but I mean, I don't know, the way I feel maybe in the future is.
My next one,
The next one, because I mean, there could be items that we may see on there that, well, what do they have? You know, and still keep it at the lowest bid, but. You know, right now, we just see what you got, okay, that's what we're gonna order and it's done. But maybe some of the group may add a question or something, so that's, you know, I know there'll be more coming up down the road, but.
do you have specific things you want me to look for?
We have
I'm
no
just
idea.
asking for like
Yeah.
a future one,
Right.
like, cause I'm gonna be working on the second one.
So where's the second one? That's the same facility?
That one is, I believe it's,
I believe it's documented,
Documented.
but there's a list of the order. The order can change, but there's been a
from the plan that,
few before that
yeah.
indicates what parts need.
Right, so, and we're not doing that one like right away, are we?
This
The Donahue
it's gonna be
Donahue
the
is
next one
year,
we're
for
working on
next
for
year.
this year.
For this year. Okay. And when will if we order this tomorrow, when will we?
We're hoping to get it in by fall. I just
I
have to
would have
talk
to
with
look at
them, we have to, yeah.
And then put it together or wait till next summer to put it together?
Oh, no, this will go in this year.
It'll be.
It'll be this year.
Okay,
This one,
And-
but I gotta let them know that, because we just talked about it, not letting council, so now.
so whereabouts is this at the park, where is it gonna be located at? In the middle, more toward the west,
It's gonna be opposite of the one that's already built.
so the swing sets and stuff is on the north side.
So the swing set, this is gonna go there.
Okay.
So it's gonna go here. So the old playgrounds literally across and it's gonna go there, straight down. So swing sets are here.
It's on the upland side. It runs north, south.
Okay,
You can see the swings to, or excuse me, it's on the east side. You can see the swings to the
north, right.
Yeah, the northwest,
Right.
yeah, exactly, so it's, the idea was to put it on that side, and some of this was already in motion at the time. And so we're kind of coming into this mid project. So the thought was, from what information was provided, is to replace the existing play features that are up there. So how that came about was prior to me, so I don't know
Prior
if
to
they had
that,
that discussion,
yeah,
yeah, so.
yeah.
That was the thought, from what I understand with this, was
Sure.
to replace the existing. And then to have it move to the east and fit between the pavilion to the south.
Okay.
And then the trees to the north.
Now, are we keeping the swings at there now? We keeping those there?
All that's coming out. So old playground's coming out and our hope is to make that a parking spot.
So will those these swings that are here, are they more for toddlers or do they? What, I mean, age wise, what are we?
It's gonna be like we have here, so it's gonna be the 5 and 7, and then the 12, so it's the 2 age groups.
Because there's a lot of high school kids when they play ball, they swing on the swings up there.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's cool. That's what's in there.
Oh, okay, so we did have for this. Yeah, that, I mean, I just like to say, maybe on our next go around before we get to putting all this together, at least brochure to second, so we all may have some ideas of what maybe this might be better, and
And
then,
I think I passed around the last plans. At the last, it was a few meetings ago. I did show.
I went back to my minutes and I didn't see, I know we talked about percentage things for the park, but I never saw.
I think it was this one, the first one that I showed that I was working on.
So,
And then second, we are going to paint. Mechanical room. So because it's getting graffitied a lot, just little marker here and there, it's a little tougher to maintain for Chase. So his idea was maybe just doing one solid color and having the sharp come out on one side of it. The new price for that to do would be 1,501. The existing, just to touch it up and maintain the little sharks and little fishes and the little blue and going around, was 1,132.
So when he paints these murals, does he put a clear protective coating over, so when they do graffiti, all you gotta do is just go wipe it off?
Let me see if it's in. Doesn't say clear coat.
You may wanna touch base and see, I mean, again, they make things like that, so you can put a clear coat over a mural. And then if, or even just a standard block wall that's painted. And then if they get graffiti, instead of having to paint it or touch up, it just takes this special solution and put it on a rag. And they wipe it and nothing comes off the rag except for the graffiti. It doesn't hurt the mural.
I can ask them.
You might want.
Yeah, I can send them an email and see what he tells me.
I bet that's pricey.
Yes and no. Just-
I'm on, yeah. Yeah. So that was all I have to say.
Comments from businesses? Okay, so our next meeting to set the date. Which would be, so the first Thursday would be May 2nd. Everybody good with that? Mary, are you good?
I should be okay. I know we're working on Cinco de Mayo,
May 2nd.
but I should be good. It should be good.
Why don't, well, you're working on Cinco de Mayo, can we go to the following Thursday?
The problem with that is you run into your violence thing.
Is Sherry's every
Second and fourth.
second and fourth?
I mean,
Well, what's, I mean, do we have a lot coming, you know, there's a lot coming up on the next agenda, like, do you foresee anything besides?
I don't see anything, just to let you guys, updated on T-bond. So we can,
Like the 16th?
Yeah,
Okay, and do you have anything on that?
the 16th. No, it should be good. The 9th, I think, is the one I have my, mandatory meetings.
I mean, if we could do that, because then I mean, Cinco's, it's gonna be a madhouse, so, and then Sherry can do.
I think Thursday we should be okay. Cinco will start Friday. But it's up to you guys.
I think, we should just do the 16th, just because the next spring. Hectic and stuff.
Okay.
Is everybody good with that?
Yeah, I can't make that, but
You can't make that.
no, but I'm not.
As the 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing our life like around the first. I have, time to tell my work. So
I can do.
you'll just excuse me, I'll be fine.
Well,
Okay, good.
okay,
At 4 o'clock?
so the 16th.
I'm gonna be in Wisconsin, I think.
And Sis has already answered.
Yeah.
Okay, so May 16th, 4 p.m.
Yes.
Everyone's okay?
Yeah.
Freedom?
Yes.
Yep.
If that's everything, the meeting's adjourned at 5:30.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.